All right, what's up, Pride Nation? Back at you with another video on today. This is Raw Detroit. Make sure you guys hit that subscription button, subscribe to the channel, and definitely make sure you hit the like button. It's free and it don't cost you a thing. All right, guys, we're going to get right into it, and we're going to talk about this meat and potatoes video. So let's do it. All right, guys, when it comes to it, you got the opportunity to pick Will Anderson or Bryce Young. Who are you picking? Number one, is it a no-brainer that you take Will Anderson because you know the Detroit Lions defense needs to get better? Or do you take the future and grab a quarterback and take Bryce Young, who is one of the top quarterbacks to be taken in the 2023 NFL draft class? Now, some say definitely it's a no-brainer. I take Will Anderson. The defense has been suffering. We're at the bottom of the barrel when it comes to the defense, and we need to get better. And if we got Hutchinson, and we got Will Anderson, and we got Josh Pascal, these young guys can grow together and they can dominate together. So definitely I'm taking Will Anderson. You know, he's coming off a career best 17.5 sacks last season. And then this year he's still balling out, still playing well. But he hasn't reached 17.5 sacks yet. But he still is one of the top players in the country. And definitely, you know what he brings to the table defensively. He's going to be like the Terminator out there. He's going to be destroying a lot of bodies out there. He's going to be doing a lot of damage out there. You already know it. And then when you look at Bryce Young, the future, you think about the connection that he has with Amon-Ra St. Brown, going to the same high school. I got to take it back. I think in the last video I said that these two guys played together, but I think that they went to the same high school, if I'm correct, because I believe Amon-Ra St. Brown graduated high school in 2017, and I believe Bryce Young graduated in 2020. I don't know, something like that. So I think that they might have had an opportunity to play, but I'm going to have to really dig deep to really find out if they were teammates before. Now, they could have been when Bryce Young was a freshman and had the opportunity to play varsity. Maybe they did. But I can recall JT Daniels at the time being the quarterback for Modern Day, the school that Amon-Ra St. Brown went to and the school that Bryce Young went to. So still got to do some research on that to make sure that it's correct information. But definitely, whether or not they played together really doesn't matter. What matters is definitely he has a connection with one of your draft picks this season in Jameson Williams. And I know that Jameson Williams would love to have his quarterback in Detroit. I think it'll be a great thing to draft Bryce Young. And ultimately, I think that if the Lions do decide to finally get their franchise quarterback, they may pick Bryce Young as that guy. Just too many ties to Jameson Williams, too many things to overlook. Definitely, he's going to be one of the top quarterbacks taken. It's just, I think it's just going to be the prerogative of what the Lions really want. You know, do they want a bigger quarterback, you know, in a C.J. Stroud or a Hendon Hooker, who's a little bit older, but still this dude can play and ball out? I definitely think that all three of these quarterbacks are going to be in the first round. It could be possibly 4 or 5 quarterbacks taken in the first round, because Will Levis could be a guy as well that could enter the talk as well if Lions like him. So I don't know what direction the Lions will ultimately go, but I think that Young definitely is a great candidate for the Lions to definitely look at. The dude has a great arm. He's a dual threat quarterback. He's mobile in the pocket. And one thing about Bryce Young that I kind of was watching him in high school, it seemed like he ran a lot. But when he got in college, he really didn't run as much. I don't know why. Maybe he was just trying to establish himself as more of a pocket presence, that he can play in the pocket. But the dude can move too as well. He just doesn't do it a lot. And that's good, man. You want a guy that doesn't run all the time, but a guy that is mobile and can extend plays with his legs. Detroit needs something different, man. And I know a lot of you guys are saying, hey, Raw Detroit, you crazy, man. We need defense. And I understand that we do need defense, but we do have 8 picks. And you can grab 2 or 3 guys maybe offensively, and the rest could be all defense. I don't know how the Lions plan on drafting this season. I don't know if they're going to trade maybe Swift or Hawkinson or someone on this team to get an additional more picks. But at this point, man, you really got to worry about just getting the defense better as well. And I agree with a lot of you guys. I know that the defense needs help. You need linebacker. You need possibly another a safety, probably another corner. Maybe you get another defensive end, or you get a defensive tackle. But definitely, man, these 2 guys are probably going to be they're going to be at the top of the list for everybody. Will Anderson is a baller, nicknamed the Terminator. You can't just think that he's a nobody. This kid can ball. He can play. And if you add him with Hutchinson, definitely these guys can be a nightmare on any given Sunday. Now, Hutch is going to get better. He finally got his 4th sack yesterday. I think he's at 4.5, something like that. And definitely proud of him. Got a chance to see Josh Pascal. I know a lot of us have been talking about Josh Pascal. We have been wanting to see this kid on the field, and finally got a chance to see him in the Dallas game. And it looks like the Lions got something solid with Josh Pascal. So it'll kind of keep your mind off Levi a little bit. But at the same time, the main goal is to get the defense better. But at the same time, I think that the Lions also need to think about the future. The Lions have gone with the last 5 seasons being in the first round and being up there pretty high. And I think that if you're in the top 5, you may want to think about taking your future at quarterback. Now, the Lions could take a quarterback later. There's a lot of quarterbacks that's coming out this season. This is the year of the quarterback in 2023. So ultimately, at the end of the day, it's going to be what type of flavor or cup of tea the Lions are trying to hold down. What are they trying to do? As far as are they trying to go defense and grab Will Anderson, which is a no-brainer. You definitely take Will Anderson. And then you got the situation with Bryce Young, one of the top quarterbacks that'll be coming out this season. Now, a lot of people say, yes, Bryce Young, grab him. But then some people say that he's undersized. The guy's only 6 foot. And I don't know. It might be a challenge to have a smaller quarterback. But at the same time, we already know what guys like Drew Brees was only 6 foot. Guys like Russell Wilson, he's already won the Super Bowl before. And guys like Kyler Murray, these guys can play, man. Even though they're smaller, these guys can play. And sometimes small people can get it done. And I know you're thinking like, man, we should get a bigger quarterback, if we got an opportunity. So it just depends on what the Lions really want and what they feel they should do at the end of the day. But if you had an opportunity as a Detroit Lion fan, I want you to leave it in the comments section on who you would select as the number 1 pick overall. Because currently on Tankathon, the Detroit Lions are number 1 to select right now. I believe we have the worst record right now. And the Lions are going to eventually have to make this decision on who they're going to take number 1 overall, especially if they keep that spot. If they keep the number 1 spot overall, you're going to have to make a decision on who you want to lead your franchise in the future. Will it be a new no-brainer with Will Anderson, one of the top defensive ends to come into the draft? Will Anderson stands at about 6'4", 235 pounds, close to 240, something like that. Definitely, I think he needs to add a little bit more weight to his frame. But also, you have the undersized quarterback in Bryce Young, who is pretty much proven. The dude can make every throw. He's a dual threat quarterback. He doesn't run all the time, but he runs when he needs to. So definitely, if I had to pick and I had to do anything and I'm in the top 5, I might lean towards getting maybe the quarterback, because I just think that it's time. And I know that's going to be a tough decision, but you leave it in the comment section on who you would pick and why you would pick them. Whether you're picking Will Anderson to be alongside of Hutchinson, or you're picking Bryce Young to lead the Lions in the future. Because if the Lions end up ultimately paying Jared Goff an extension, he's going to get about $40 million a season, because that's what the market is paying right now. And that's a lot of money to Jared Goff. Not saying that, that the Lions won't do it. You just never know what the Lions are thinking. But right now, Jared Goff is not looking the best. I know he started out real hot. The Lions had the #1 offense in the league. But for the last couple of weeks, things are starting to change. And I don't think that the Lions are the #1 offense in the league anymore. But at the same time, you got a choice who you picking to be your #1 pick overall. Are you taking Will Anderson, or are you taking Bryce Young? So, man, this is going to be interesting, man, because I don't know how this thing is going to play out. We don't know what the Lions are be thinking. They could pass on Bryce Young, and they could take Will Anderson. So you got to be prepared for whatever they may do. They may decide to take another quarterback later, because the Lions do have 2 first-round picks, one by the Rams, and they're ultimately their own pick as well. So you don't really know where they're going to be at with the Rams pick last season. They was towards the bottom. So pretty much when you're looking at towards the bottom, you're looking at who can I grab in the first round. Maybe if Hendon Hooker is available, you take Hendon Hooker. Now, I definitely wouldn't mind having Will Anderson and grabbing Hendon Hooker if I can possibly get him. But I think the only way you would possibly be able to get Hendon Hooker is if the Rams lose more games. Because I think that this kid will be taken in the first round. It might be later than some of the other quarterbacks, but I think, because of his age, I think that's the only thing that will probably stop Hendon Hooker from being taken in the top. You just never know, man. If the dude goes out and ball out and ends up winning a Heisman, that can change everything. So we'll see, man, what happens. But who are you taking, Bryce Young or Will Anderson? All right, guys, I'm out of here. Peace.